moved Cody Learn's it was like a drawstring bag with his laptop in it, and Bobby just moved it to the floor. Wasn't like unsafe. He didn't like fucking throw it or anything. Yeah. But he comes back with his lunch tray and goes, "Dude, my laptop!" And it was just like a joke.
Forever.
Yeah. And like I don't talk to him anymore.
I showed up way after that, and I got it immediately.
Yeah. Dude, my lap. Well, it's just so Cody learn.
Mm-hmm. Well, welcome back to the Banter Boys podcast.
Keep all that in.
Yeah, I know.
Keep all that in.
So, we got the normal boys. Why don't we go ahead and introduce ourselves, starting with you, Mr. Wienerhead. Toes.
That was a good burn.
Wienersmith.
Nice, dude.
It's Wienersmith. Joseph Wienersmith.
I am the independent variable, Lucas McDaniel.
Gerald.
I'm the man who deserves no introduction.
I mean, I'm also Mike Minnick. We've got a special guest.
An introduction.
He's got a special guest with us today.
I'm the homeless person who just wandered in. I'm just kind of here. My name is Justin Phillips.
That's Justin Phillips. All right, boys. Well, back to it, I guess.
Yeah.
I think we do this every time we go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, new Star Wars movie comes out. Rated out of 10 down the line, starting from you, Joe.
7.
8.
Oh, he had a 9 first. 7.
8.
I'll give it like a solid 7. I wasn't I wasn't too impressed with it, to be honest.
It lost 3 points.
Based on
the lack of Rey being nude was.
Was she nude in the first one?
No.
Oh.
That's why the first one was a 9.
Yeah. I mean, I sort of expected it because of the progression of like how much we saw of each character.
Yeah.
Like Kylo Ren, we saw a lot of.
Oh yeah.
It was nice. He was very greasy too.
Real thick.
Yeah.
He's real thick. He's kind of like beefy, but not in like a fat way.
He was
just
in
like,
the army.
He just seems kind of like
he's beefy everywhere except his head.
He's wide, but like if you were to see his profile, he'd look thin. But like,
he looks like a boxer from the 1920s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the body I want to get someday. Just look like a boxer from the 1920s with a thick handlebar mustache. Whew.
Now you just kind of look like a hipster, but not in like a bad way.
That's a good way to follow up a comment on someone's appearance, but not in a bad way.
I don't know why. I just look at you, and I didn't know what to say because I got lost in your eyes.
You think, you just think like homeless.
No, just your eyes.
Because that's what Todd said to me one time. Because Lucas and Jake were like, "Hey, Justin, what's up? You're still fat." and Todd was like, "Well, if it makes you feel any better, I really don't think the first thing I like when I look at you, I don't think, oh, that kid's really fat. I think, maybe homeless."
He didn't say you weren't fat though.
He just said that's not what I think of when I see you.
Yeah.
Oh
my goodness.
Todd, where's Todd?
I don't know.
Out and about.
Oh, it's so small.
So little.
I'm sorry, guys.
Joe, you can do better than that, please.
Come on. High production value
also,
here.
why does he have his pants like that? Also,
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
High-waisted.
It's a tummy tuck. There's those tummy control pants.
He's got a weird belly button. He didn't want everyone to see it.
I'm just not going to address that.
First time was small again, like Kylo Ren. He was very small, even though he's quite large.
I don't believe you.
So all I'll say is, I know a lot of people complained about like how they changed the Force and all that jazz. I just think that's really, really wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I like what they did. I think.
I
think
it was a change for a better.
Okay,
I didn't like it.
That's not the problem.
They didn't change the Force.
The Force changed you.
No, because that stuff just hadn't happened in the movies yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every time I explain my thoughts about the new Star Wars movie to people, I always say, "Have you seen Spider-Man 3?
Yeah.
Like the original ones, Tobey
like
Maguire?" Because there's just too much shit happening. I think. I mean, I don't really. As far as like the Force or whatever, I'm taking my jacket off.
Well, and one guy had an argument. He said, "Well, if like the whole Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia death thing where she like flies out and then just comes back in. He's like, the big problem with that is, why didn't the Emperor just do that when Darth Vader threw him down that like mine shaft thing?
He's old
yeah.
and gross.
Because he wasn't good enough.
Oh, he was plenty good enough.
No, he was evil.
Yeah, different sides of the Force have different powers.
I've never wanted to kiss you more.
That's why the bad guys have lightning.
They have lightning.
It's a very systematic thing, okay? The bad guys get lightning, the good guys get to float back into
I mean,
places. It's their main powers.
If you think about it, maybe it's just you can't push that hard. Like you can force jump, you can't force fly.
Oh, you
That's
know
what
what I
I'm saying.
wonder?
It's
Like,
like
they-
this
I
supports
wonder-
like the Mace Windu theory, like he was evil. That's why he
Yeah.
couldn't fly back into like
Yeah.
that
yeah, but like
building.
so
That's why he was
so like
purple.
she
Yeah,
could fly herself
half and half.
back in because there wasn't much gravity around there because there's nothing.
But
But what's his face?
you're onto something. You said
couple
something
guys
about
that fall down
pushing.
holes.
You said something about pushing. I wonder if it's because she's a woman. Because women have to push babies out. So that's tremendous force. If I say so.
Tremendous force.
Yeah, like the
Tremendous.
force. Like
I don't.
these are not the
I
droids
don't
you're
know
looking
that-
for.
I don't know. That we can,
Okay.
I don't know that we can support that with anything.
Yeah. That,
I mean,
I don't think
I
it's
get
a
what
valid...
you're saying.
Yeah. No. I.
What if she
I
just
kind of
pulled the
agree
ship
with you.
towards her?
Oh yeah, what if she was actually using a ton of force? She stayed in place and the ship moved.
We never thought about what if she pulled the ship. But if you think about that, then she was just kind of being a jerk for not like pushing the ship ahead of. They were running out of gas.
Yeah.
Oh,
she could have just done
what
it.
about the light speed thing? Why has no one ever done that before? If she knew she could do that, why didn't they do
They
that
did
right
it
away?
in like old comics and stuff, but those aren't real anymore.
Wait, they're not canon.
Because Disney.
Yeah. They're not. Like once Disney bought it out, they were like,
Everything made before us doesn't count anymore.
Yeah.
Except for the Clone Wars.
Who's Disney?
Well,
Wait, didn't he hate Jews?
"Oh, have you guys seen the
Walter?
documentary on Netflix about Walt Disney?"
no.
He was a Nazi, right?
Yes. No. It's pretty cool though. You guys should check it
They
out.
froze
It's
his head
about Walt Disney.
in hopes that someday they could find a body that would suit him that was of the Aryan race, and they could. put
Yeah,
his
that
head
was
back
the
on it.
problem with that idea. They just needed to find the peak body, not the like
They needed
logistics
Kylo
of it. They needed Kylo Ren in his high-waisted pants. It's in the works now.
They're tummy tuck pants, okay? Jeez, I don't know how many times I gotta tell you.
Tummy tuck.
Yeah, he has a big flap like Adam Sandler and Click under those high-waisted pants.
No, you're thinking Flipper, the Penguin movie.
Oh
Maybe-
yeah.
No, you're thinking Free Willy.
No.
No.
You're thinking
The
about
killer-
Willy Wonka.
No, you guys are thinking about Jaws, right?
No, a
No.
dolphin tail is what we're thinking.
No,
of.
no,
Sure it's
Shark
not Shark-
Tale.
Yeah, with
the
Morgan
Disney
Freeman.
movie
No.
with the.
Yeah, that's what
That's
I was
not-
going for.
You're thinking Finding Nemo with the sharks, like Bruce.
And that's
What?
Jaws.
You're thinking of Die Hard. Bruce Willis.
Oh, the Christmas movie.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas
It
movie.
is. Hey, what's that? Pepsi, cherry vanilla. Pepsi, it's good. Sponsor of the day. That's like when we had the
Sponsored anyone's by
when we
Coca-Cola.
had the list up and it said sponsored by
McDonald's.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Yeah, like,
They're really good.
They're really good. We're sponsored probably by
Prongles.
Yeah,
Pop,
it's-
Pop.
That's
great.
We don't have any,
I don't know what that
but trust
means.
us.
You know what? I feel like sponsoring us right now. Let's see what I got here. 50 cents. Right there. Sponsored. We're good to go.
I've got.
Oh, wow.
I've
Me
got a gray
slamming that
lighter.
on the table just flatlined our
I have
audio.
my
Sponsored
key.
by
That is
Power
Jeez.
Rangers.
You were going about
I have
that
a receipt.
real tough. Oh, I have a receipt. I have a receipt for my loan.
Dollar General.
All
I
right,
bought
here's
hot
what
dog buns
I'm
and
willing to
cracker
offer for a sponsor. I've got my loan receipt. I will give you my
Oh, you
ID,
got your coin purse.
my debit card, my key card to my room, my social security card. Jeez.
And a quarter.
Wow, that's a lot of change, Joe.
Yeah, the whole
Thank you.
purse.
If we had that
I
much
don't like
change in this
change.
country, let me tell you, we'd be going places.
Out of debt.
I had
It's
to
enough
burp, but it
change.
didn't come out.
Inside.
Oh,
Only real change come from inside.
Not now.
what?
I don't know
I
what
was
that
just-
means.
No, I know what you're saying.
Are you singing that song by George Clemson? The
George Clooney?
no, you're thinking George
Hey, Jack.
R.R.
What is
Martin.
Oh, J.R. Tolkien?
Yeah, what's his
Like-
name? Jokin Tolkien.
Jokin, Tolkien.
J.R.R. Tolkien. That's a nice computer you got, Jack. Actually,
Hey, Jack,
a
thanks for the help.
Curian.
What? Thanks for the help.
You're welcome.
A Curian. That's the brand.
Alright, what is happening?
What?
Oh.
Thanks for the help.
Put my loan
Oh.
receipt back.
Okay.
Wait, why would you get a receipt for a loan?
Because it's on the check.
I mean, no, but listen. Like, okay, so
Is
you
this
get a
We Bought a Zoo? Minus the help. That's a crappy movie.
All right, Mike. Listen to me now. Okay, so like a receipt is something you get when you pay for an object.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it's a loan.
Mhm.
They
A
paid
loan check.
you.
Yeah.
They paid you. So shouldn't you give them a receipt?
Well, no, I needed the receipt because
I'll show you.
I needed record of it in case it got lost
No,
or
but-
damaged.
But you have record of it.
The
because you
loan?
have to.
Yeah, the
Not when I take it to the bank. I
loan, in
don't.
case like the loan gets damaged.
Yeah.
No, yeah, the check. It was a check.
Oh, that makes sense.
Did you at least get a good warranty on the loan?
No.
Hey, Joe, where do you go to college?
That doesn't make sense.
Mulan.
Oh, it says Malone.
We're
It's
gonna
just
have
real
to-
big.
We're just gonna have to cut that out.
He
'cause
goes
that
to
joke has-
Milan.
It had really good, setup, but
Execution was terrible.
poor. Let's try this again. Why would it do it like that?
Oh, that's
It's
interesting.
gonna play.
Just leave
If
that
you
up.
spin it fast enough,
Yeah.
She's just looking at us.
Mulan
It'll-
creeping
it'll
over, creeping over the mountains.
should we
Yeah,
get
that's
on, like-
weird. I don't know why it.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
Oh,
Goes to Malone. It said
Yeah,
Malone.
it's
Okay.
it's a Mulan poster, but instead it says Malone.
right.
is where-
It's you go to Mulan.
You go to
I
school there?
go to Mulan.
Since
What's the dragon's name? Shimu? Shishu?
No, you're thinking of Shamu,
Shamu?
like the one
ShamWow?
they use
Oh my
in
Oh,
Can we
yeah,
get sponsored by
ShamWow.
ShamWow?
Sham
Blackfish,
Blackfish?
Black Bay.
Blackfish.
Wait, Blackfish
you're-
is
you're
the
thinking
of
orca
Blackfish.
one, right?
That's
Blackfish?
Black Bear.
No,
No.
you're thinking James Earl Jones doing good blackface as Darth Vader.
That's the most tasteful blackface.
Is his
That's
name-
the only
You know,
acceptable blackface.
Can we talk about the fact that for some reason, all throughout my life, I always say James Earl Jones, and then I think, no, that's the guy that killed Martin Luther King, but that's James Earl Ray.
No, I'm pretty sure you're thinking of the second gunman on the hill.
A JFK?
Yeah,
JFK,
Grassy
the
Knoll.
second gunman on the hill.
What?
He killed his own body.
He's
Killed his
Like
own
done
body?
with
What
that
does
body
mean?
double.
Oh, he killed his... Okay.
Pop, maybe.
That's why they never figured out who it was, because they were like, it can't be JFK. He's dead.
There's only one person it can't be, JFK, and he's just in the background. That was my plan.
You know, if you think about it, like, yeah, if you're dead, there's only one person that couldn't have murdered you.
You do know suicide is a thing, right?
But if it wasn't suicide,
But if it wasn't,
it wasn't suicide when Kurt Cobain died, I'll tell you that.
Is it suicide if you kill your own clone?
Maybe that's what...
I think that's... Is it out of sexual desire, you think?
would you guys fuck your clone?
No.
Oh, yeah. No.
I'm way too fat.
I just wanted to talk about suicide and murder and the differences between it.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
but you
fuck
can't
my
talk
clone.
about that without...
Some-
In case
Sometimes-
my clone was evil.
Sometimes they suicide people to make it look like
I
it
wouldn't
wasn't a
wanna give him the
murder.
pleasure.
They suicide people?
Yeah, they just suicide
They
them.
murder people and make it look like...
Yeah, I just call it this. They suicide them.
They suicide.
Our next sponsor, Ford. Built Ford Tough.
Oh,
Shoot.
he's
Oh
in
my
shock.
gosh.
Wow, Joe. It's
Baby
almost
boy,
like,
come
it's
here.
almost like they have a slogan.
Joe,
I
you
didn't-
should've
he
been
just
there.
can't
Take
say
how
it.
tough Fords are built.
you should have been there when Mike and I started singing "The Boys Are Back in
Oh
Town."
yeah. We just start. I just look at him.
We weren't even facing each other.
I just look over.
Get it where you're getting along.
The boys are back in town.
The boys are back in town.
Boys in blue. Say God bless you to the real white and blue. Built Ford tough.
Coming soon in Ford, they've all got toilet seats, which means you can just poop right in the truck.
You know what they make that's a genius idea? Joe, he goes, you know what they make is those toilet seats that go on your hitch on the truck?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
kind of like the stripper
great
poles,
idea.
but the opposite end.
Wait, what?
Wow.
I mean, like,
They make stripper poles for your hitch?
Yeah.
yeah.
What?
Okay, but like,
What do you mean?
Haven't
the
you ever
opposite
seen
end?
they also have those testicle hitches that just balls.
Oh, yeah.
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 so one time
Truck
I sit
nuts.
on it,
Truck
and
nuts.
someone comes
I like how I
down,
said
and the other
testicles,
piece
but
sit on it.
they're probably called like.
Hey
truck
Joe.
nuts.
That's not how stripper poles work, Joe.
That's
Someone's
what you do.
in
You
the
sit
stripper
on them.
Joe, remember that time you sat on that really long stick in the woods?
I didn't sit on it. It was forced on me.
Let's do that. Let's tell that story. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
Joe.
All
Joe,
right,
take it
so,
away.
You can speak up too. You're pretty far away.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, it's okay.
Classic,
All right.
classic Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson, if you're watching this, this is a shout out to you.
All right, Michael.
Sponsored
So-
by Michael Johnson.
Wow.
Wow.
You want to tell the story? It's been
Okay,
It's
so,
been
I don't think I've heard this.
Quentin
story.
traptorating him.
I know.
Alright,
I've
so,
told you the story at least once.
I used to run cross country back in the day, and
Mhm.
so basically, if you don't know
So
anything
did I,
about
believe it or
cross
not.
country, what you do is you pretend like you run really hard, but really, like if you care as much as we did, you just mostly screw around in the woods, which is a lot of fun. I
You're
must
screwing
admit.
in the woods.
No, we weren't screwing in the woods. That would be gay.
Well, Joe kind of was.
Well, okay, so here's the story. So it's meet day on our home course,
yes.
and we're out there warming up, getting the course ready, making sure everything's good.
Yeah.
And this is like,
Were
I don't
you
know.
though? Because you were climbing a tree.
Well, yeah, we were mostly screwing around, as I said earlier. That's mostly what we did.
Okay.
So this is about 30 minutes before our race, and we're like, we were already warmed up basically. We ran at least 3 feet.
Yeah.
It was like 80
At
degrees, so we were
least.
plenty warm.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So, I can climb trees. Let's do that. So I climbed the tree, and I'm like not even 8 feet up. It's like a pretty small tree, so I didn't go that high because I'm not
Pussy.
dumb. I'm not dumb, okay?
Pussy.
So
Joe, that's pretty smart.
yeah, thank you. So I'm on this tree and I'm like, oh, this is funny. Everybody thinks I'm cool because I climbed. Mind you, this is like what, freshman year of high school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
look at that dude. He's up in the tree. How did he get there?
Does he have a helicopter?
He's like,
Did he have a ladder in his pocket?
So I'm in this tree and I'm like, all right, well, now it's time to come down because I don't know, I'm done with being in this tree.
Dinner time.
Okay, but you didn't
But-
climb. You didn't climb down.
I didn't climb down, so this is where it gets interesting. I decide to let go and push off a little bit. Little to my knowledge, can you say that?
Sure.
I think
just
so.
did.
Sure, you just did.
Not, unbeknownst to me,
That's good.
yeah.
Michael Johnson, my fellow running mate,
Also our
And our
sponsor.
sponsor.
Love him.
was holding a large stake.
It was a mile marker.
Oh, they don't know what that means. A large
marks the
stake.
It
mile.
marks a mile, Joe.
Don't know
Yeah, but
what
that
a mile
doesn't-
marker is.
That doesn't.
Okay. It's a large. It's
Okay,
a large
it's a large
stake.
stake that
Okay.
marks the mile. I'm sorry. I got a little heated there.
He went like this, too.
No one
he did.
knows.
So he's holding it like this, pretending to poke me in the butt. He's like, ooh.
He was like,
I
"Look at
didn't
me, I'm
know
cool."
this. Yeah, because he's also the same age, so he was also being cool.
Yeah.
So he's holding it under my butt. At the same moment that I decide, well, screw this tree, and I let go. I land tailbone first onto the point.
And
Here's a diagram.
so you were on there for what? Like a solid
I
like.
don't know. I don't
It
remember
felt
that
like
moment.
5 minutes, but it was probably like 30 seconds.
All I
maybe.
remember is the feeling of his hands on my tush.
Yeah, he just grabbed his butt
And
cheeks.
he grabs my butt cheeks and goes, "Yo!" And I flop off and I go, "Ooh!"
Oh my gosh! Everyone was so. The funny thing is like everyone that was there was like so serious and like comforting Joe. Like, hey, are you okay, buddy? Me and RJ had to like fall back and we had to fall behind. And we just had to take a
that's
minute
funny.
because RJ and I
That's a
were just
good one.
laughing too hard, and it was like
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, and then it was good. I
Can
thought-
you imagine if you really had been up there for like 5 minutes? They're just holding him thinking, well, what do we do now?
he just keeps sliding down.
They're all just looking at him. They're worship. People are bowing down.
I mean, like,
I imagine you were bruised.
yes, I was
Weeks.
bruised for quite a while, but like, you think
How
about
far
it,
in did it go?
it didn't. It hit my tail.
Bone.
And
So,
that's-
like,
and that's
no,
the
but
story.
You think about it.
It hit it from the inside, if you know.
That's the story of Joe losing his anal virginity.
Did it hit the hole?
No, it didn't hit the hole.
If it
But
hit the hole, I'll be so pissed.
this is what I'm saying. If it had been a little south of my tailbone, I could have possibly died right then and there.
That
Like
would've
people die on plungers if they're not looking.
Yeah.
It's
What?
happened. Yes.
Oh,
That's how
I
I
thought
wanna
you meant
go.
the rubber end.
It just sucks out all their organs.
like people have been dumb and like not looked and died on the plunger, or they've.
Oh my
Why did they sit on the plunge?
Well-
Were they not even aiming for the toilet?
Actually, what I
They just
what
knew
I
they were in
should
a
say is
bathroom.
they were doing something silly with the plunger. You know, silly like.
Sex.
Anal sex?
Putting it on their butt.
Yeah, they were like,
sticky
well,
end
this
first.
looks fun.
And then dead.
Yeah, they went too far. Like a lot.
That's funny. Death.
No.
Yeah. Death's pretty
Yeah.
funny.
So, anyways, you know, I
Just
could have died. That's
Just
all I'm
remember,
saying.
guys, when you go to the public pool, no matter how alluring it seems, do not put your anus on the pool drain.
I do that all the time.
That does seem quite alluring.
it will suck you all right out.
Speaking of getting sucked out, so
Okay.
I was thinking the other day, like maybe instead of doing the videos like we normally do, which is like I don't know the first time we've done it. So
Pornographic.
yeah, I was thinking maybe we just
Can it be a snuff film? I want to die. I'll be the victim of it.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
yeah
'cause
actually no.
Oh yeah, we've had this
No,
conversation.
We talked
Yeah.
about killing Jack.
This is good. No, I like where this is going. That's all. I was just thinking.
Yeah, I
maybe
like
we
where
Uh,
it was
we'll,
going
a
to.
major plot point
put it on
of
the
the
other
thing
ideas.
is someone dying.
Excuse me.
And I can't help it at the beginning.
I'm new to this. I don't know what's happening.
Neither do we.
Who
Oh,
are
okay.
you?
I'm homeless. I just
You're
look
not
like-
my dad.
So, what you got there, buddy? Some
Oh.
chapstick?
Chappy stick.
Oh, and I lost it.
Are you eating Oreos, Joseph?
Oh yeah, would you like one?
No, I was just asking.
That's
if
what I
you're
said
eating
too. I
Oreos.
said no.
I said no. Just because I'm fat doesn't mean I like Oreos.
Hey, I never.
Yeah.
Said,
I do, but that's
put-
not the point.
Don't put words in me.
Don't put words in you.
There's Oreo dust on my computer.
And whose fault is that?
This Oreo
God.
is real slurmy.
Right.
Like the fictional drink from Futurama.
No, you're thinking
Slurm. Yeah.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Slurm.
You're thinking you're slurring
Once
your
you slurm.
words.
That's great.
All right,
Fancy
so
slurm.
I don't know. Is it? You think it'd be a good time for a story time with Mike?
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you have a
Yeah,
story?
story.
I got a story.
Is it one that I know?
No,
Oh.
Is it one
There's
where
one
we
that
can all
no
use
one
the
knows.
voices?
there's one that no one knows.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Oh,
Is it true or false?
that is true.
I still feel like I
How
can't
true.
swear. It's making me uncomfortable.
Oh shit.
I feel like
Justin, man the fuck up.
All right.
You
You're
can't
swearing
call
like
him a
Christian
man.
Mike
We don't
does, right?
know.
Hey Joe, can I have some of that?
2017.
Yeah, the Oreos.
I was just
Oh,
kidding.
God.
You have like none left. It's fine. I was kidding.
It's mostly slobber, anyways.
Ooh, I like that. All right, story time with Mike.
All
Let's
right.
get to it.
This is a scary story. Scary
shit.
story for the Christmas season. Oh,
Is it Krampus?
Kentucky Belschnickel.
Belschnickel finds you in fish. No, it is not. So let me get down to brass tacks here. Ooh, all right. So it was December, late in December. I don't know what the date was. It was years ago. It was late December. And it was at night. It was around 11:30 to 12, somewhere in there, and it was snowing. I remember it was snowing. It was very cold. I was probably 7 years old, and you know what? I'm gonna. Sorry, that was gonna be a complete BS story. I will tell you a real story, but I'm gonna. It's also a scary story.
This one, equally
I had
BS, but
I had
with more
so much
confidence.
that I was gonna go for there, but I just was like, no, I'm gonna tell a real story. This is a scary story. This is 100% true. Swear on my life, this happened. So,
This is a trick.
you ever like move into a house or anything, or not move into it, but you're in a house and you feel like bad energy there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like even maybe like when you were a kid, you might have I don't know. Maybe you guys haven't moved a bunch, but there was like something as a kid that you remember about a house that was weird, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like
No,
Scooby-Doo.
I got you.
No,
Are you just gonna tell a Scooby-Doo story?
no, this is real.
Okay.
Swear on my life. So, it was sometime years ago. I was probably about 2 years old because when I was 2,
I don't remember.
I would have I would have been older. I should say I was older than 2. We moved to this house when I was 2. So, but I was between probably 2 and 5, probably.
Good range.
Yeah.
So
I can be okay with that.
So let's say I was 3. Let's just go there. So there was this night. I remember I used to, as a kid, this old house that we had in Sebring, and it was an old brick house. And sorry about that. And so basically, one night I was sitting in my room, going to bed, laying in bed, obviously, and so basically, I used to listen to music or like books on tape or something at
Dude, I
bedtime,
love
right?
books on tape.
Right.
I can't focus.
So, I can't read, but never have been able to. That's why I was listening to them. Also, it was dark, so I couldn't read.
Also, I was 3.
Also,
so.
I was 3.
Dark.
So I was listening to this Peter Pan book on tape, like the Disney Peter Pan. So it was real quick.
Star Catchers.
It might have only been, well, it was probably 2 sides. But anyways, so I'm listening to this tape, right? And the tape finishes. And so I'm ready for bed. I settle down. The lights are off. It's a very small room. And I fall asleep. But all of a sudden, not long after, I hear something. Right? And no, it wasn't. This is where it gets weird. Brace yourselves. So I hear this noise, and it was like someone talking, but it was like from it was like from far away. So what happens is I hear this, and I'm hearing it sounds like someone saying "Get out," right? And
Good
like
movie.
the critically acclaimed movie. And so and so so I hear get out, and it's
I already
growing
think
louder.
this story's bullcrap.
It's not bullcrap. I swear, this is not. I'm not making this up. And so I hear that.
He's making it up.
No, this isn't like that one story. I swear. You can ask my mom about it because she remembers this night. Because just listen, I'm getting
Call
there.
her right now.
Yeah, let's
So,
call her.
I will.
right now.
No, give me a sec. Yeah, we'll do it in a sec. So, anyways, back to the story before we die here. So, basically, I wake up, but like I said, it sounded like someone saying "get out" from really far away, and then it was getting closer. But you know that character in Beauty and the Beast, Lumiere?
Yeah.
He's like the
Yeah.
little candle
Hello.
guy. Well, here's the thing that's weird about this is I wake up after hearing that, and I see this light glowing underneath my sheets. I swear I see it like a candlelight
Mike,
flickering underneath my
Mike.
sheet.
Have you ever had yourself tested for testicular cancer.
No.
Have you ever done acid, like at the age of 3?
Have you ever
Oh,
irradiated
hold
your
on.
balls?
Let me get
glow
back
is
to
a-
this
is a
because this
telltale
this
sign of
reminds me of
testicular
another
cancer.
thing that I.
Okay,
another
Mike,
good
finish
story.
the story. Though.
Well, you're keeping tractorating me. So
What?
interrupting. Anyways, so back to the story. I see this glowing light, and so I start freaking out, and it's moving underneath my sheet, and I'm hearing it louder and louder. Just get out, and it's loud, and so I get up and I run to my bedroom door, but it's an old house, so like those like old doorknobs that are like.
Circular.
It's like they do nothing.
They're
They're
like
just there
yeah,
for decoration.
it's like they do
They're
nothing.
useless,
They're like
yeah.
they just jiggle a lot, and you have to like press them in and like jam them, and then rip the door open. So I'm
Rip
like
it off.
I'm fidgeting around with the doorknob, and I'm like, oh, I gotta get out. I'm like crying, I'm screaming. I run
that's
over to
the,
my parents' room
little
finally
spoon
after I
things.
get
Oh,
out,
yeah.
like the guy wanted me to, and I told them that. And they said, no, that didn't happen. I'm like, yes, I'm not dreaming. Like, I saw this in my sheets. I was awake. And they're like, no, you're just dreaming. Like, go back to bed. And I'm like, I'm not going back in there. Because whatever's in there does not want me there. And they're like, okay, fine. So my mom slept in there, and I just slept in their room. I swear, that is the one of the memories I have of the house. Second one's a quick little story. One of the big things that really sold me on Santa being real when I was younger was I distinctly remember at this house it was like my bed was here. It was like just a square room, right? And so my bed was here. There was a window, and then like my dresser, and that's where I had the cassette player for the books on
Are you
tape.
saying that Santa Claus isn't real?
Well,
Mike,
that's
what's
where
the
I'm getting to this.
implication here? Because
So this part isn't scary, but I get up one night. It was like Christmas Eve, and mind you, I'm about the same age as all this happening. And I get up because I hear what sounds like footsteps on our roof. No joke. It literally sounds like footsteps on the roof, and I hear that. But then the creepiest thing happened was before I even looked, there was this light, like this beam of light that just zoomed past my window, like fast. And it wasn't like there was a road like next to my house.
maybe a car.
It wasn't like here it was like house to house. It was like you've seen my old house in Sebring. It's just house after
It's
house.
like my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
have a house.
I see this light flash by, and I'm like, oh wow, it's Santa. So I start listening, and I hear footsteps on the roof, and I hear something. Well, then after a while, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna go downstairs because I want my presents. I don't want him to find me.
Yeah.
And so, even though he knows I'm awake, but anyways, so
He sees you
so
when you're sleeping.
I look out the window shortly
He knows
after I
when you're
hear the
gay.
footsteps again, thinking, okay, the reindeer are leaving. They're leaving now, all right? So I hear that. I hear the footsteps. And I look out my window, and I swear,
He has a bunch
I
of
swear
change
on
in
my
his
life,
boots.
as a kid, I swear on my life, I don't know what I saw. I don't know if this
kid
house was haunted and was playing tricks on me, but I swear I saw deer in the sky, like flying away. No joke, like
Thank you.
clear as day.
Mike,
But it was at night.
You need to lay off.
But
that
Santa's not
child's
real.
NyQuil.
I don't know.
why did
okay,
your parents give you acid when you were 3
no
years old?
joke. The story about the light, but actually both of them are 100% true, and I mean that with my life. Like that's a legit story. It's
How
a
about
scary house.
your wife?
I don't have a wife.
So, to follow up your fascinating story,
Thank you.
not to comment on its
Do I need
Legitimacy.
to do any sound
It's
effects
real.
on this story?
um,
I'll give you 25 schmackles.
all right. So to follow up your story, the other night, this was like I don't know 4 nights ago. I had this dream
4 sleeps.
about
4 sleeps ago.
4
I know
sleeps ago.
this story.
About a quarter of a moon cycle ago.
That's a week.
It was an 8th.
It was an 8th.
At best.
Joe knows about the moon.
I don't know anything about 8ths.
Yeah.
Joe, tell your story.
His girlfriend, the moon.
So,
Cynthia.
That's rough, buddy.
God, that's kind of painful actually. Really.
Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, so I had this dream, and ooh, I'm gonna need a minute for that. I was very spooked.
1 full minute.
1 full minute.
Wait, hold on. How long have you been talking?
Not long. I don't know.
I just fell asleep. I've been asleep for a few minutes.
Oh,
You were
No,
telling
not as a
story.
burn. Not as
that
a burn.
was a burn.
Not as a burn. I fell asleep a while ago.
No, that was
I
a
think
good
you have a
burn.
very poor grasp on reality.
I fell asleep a little bit ago and I didn't.
Okay.
I've been smoking crack all evening, so I don't
We're
have
actually
really...
doing episode 4 of the podcast right now, Mike.
You missed one.
What
moment.
world are we in?
Alright,
I think
so-
we're like on the third planet. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
That's
Third
that's
rock.
for another. That's for another time. Continue, Joe.
Christ!
So I had this dream the other night, and I was outside with my friends by an old shed. And it was evening, and we were like, let's make a lot of snowmen and roast squirrels on a spit. So we were doing that. Mostly we were building snowmen, which is, fun.
This is a real story.
This is a real dream.
This is real.
Oh, it's
Honestly,
just,
I have
you
to-
dreamt that
it's a
you
real
had,
dream.
You dreamt that you were
This all
in
came
real
true.
life.
Okay,
I
Joe,
have-
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Honestly, I half expected you to explain what snowmen were. Like after the mile marker thing, I thought you were gonna
Snowman!
So what a snowman is?
It's a man made of snow.
No,
And
we
you
weren't.
get a big
Okay,
ball?
Joe.
I have to
Regular
clarify.
sized
We weren't
ball.
making snowmen. We were making snowmen. So like,
Sneeman, demon, demon.
They're
I'll
little.
give you my seed, demon.
They look like little Pikmin, but they're made of snow.
no, like okay, so
Like
They're not like
monsters.
They're like
snowmen.
snowlums, like golems.
like we didn't like roll up 3
Oh,
balls.
like lizardmen.
Like lizardmen. Yes, it's
Okay.
not like a lizard that's a man. It's like a lizard.
It's lizardmen.
So okay, so bear with me here. It's not like we rolled up 3 balls and stacked them on top of each other. It was more like we crafted or sculpted like
Okay.
man-like creatures out of snow.
See, now that's something you needed to elaborate on. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me finish, and I will.
Flatline.
He
Oh shit.
I'm a flatliner.
he did elaborate.
All right. So,
I mean-
anyways, so we're making these snowmen, and we have maybe 8 to 16 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, there was quite a few.
That takes a while.
And we were out in like. They're about to kiss.
Oh, we've been caught.
Darn it!
We're out in like the woods, and it's it's dark, and we're like, hey, let's take a picture with our snowmen. And so I pull out my camera. I have like a nice
Camera.
camera. I don't know, like it's not like one of those little point and shoot. It's like a
Point, shoot.
That's how all cameras work, Joe.
Yeah.
You point them and then you shoot.
Okay, it
Continue.
wasn't a cool Pix. It wasn't one of those. Anyways, it was like a big camera, and I'm looking through the viewfinder. You've never
You were
heard of
trying to take a
Canon
picture of
Coolpix?
yourself?
It's like a really
Yeah,
common
no, I get
digital
what you mean.
camera.
I know what you're talking
Oh.
about.
It's just I don't know. It's just I'm sorry.
I'm not up to date
I don't
on
need
cameras.
to sound really demeaning.
I think it's
That's
out of
okay.
date, to
That
be
was-
honest.
It's okay. I
Yeah, I'm
understand.
sorry. I'm really sorry about that.
Just let me rub your nipple and
Yeah,
I'll
it's okay.
get you off.
You're missing my nipple, but that's okay. I still, it's the thought that counts.
My nipples are so big, I just had to guess.
This is a very
It's over.
unprofessional podcast.
There's actually a way to get to the nipple.
So, oh, there it is. You found it. Oh, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a picture of our snowmen, and my friends, I don't remember who they were, get by the snowmen, and I scope in. I'm like, oh, this could be a dope picture, and then I feel like I need a visual.
He says, "Don't peek him. Don't peek him."
Don't be yeah.
And then out of the side frame,
Take a picture.
This isn't a cool pics.
Use this as a camera.
Yeah, aren't you trying to like?
no,
didn't
no,
you just say you
I'm
could
portraying
demonstrate?
what I saw.
Oh.
So I'm just gonna get it here. Out of the side of the frame comes running in classic Bigfoot
Like-
style.
Oh, I thought you were gonna.
Yeti.
Fucking Yeti?
Yeah. So I had a dream about a Yeti
In a real life dream?
in a
you
real
had?
life. Okay. Bear with me though. So the Yeti runs by, sort of stops a little bit, looks at us, and I'm scoped in on him, and he like we make eye contact through the scope, and I'm like, and he's like. and then he goes and he runs off like really fast, like inhumanly fast. Like obviously he's not a human.
Well,
but,
he's a
like,
Yeti.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yetily
got a
fast,
point.
like he's
yeah. Okay. So like
a
he's
tier above your average
Was it
Yeti.
like normal inhumanly? Or like inhumanly?
like
He had
he
to catch a
went
red
about
eye.
the speed of a moped, but instantly.
So,
He said moped, just that Yeti.
He didn't
That's
run.
like-
He didn't like speed up. He was just like,
Yeah, like
he's like, ding ding.
So there was no acceleration. It was straight into speed. Is what you're
basically.
saying.
I mean, like he took one step and he was already as fast as a moped.
he was a little faster than your average Joe.
Mopeds, like,
0 to 13 miles per hour in 0 seconds.
mopeds at like most 35 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Are you talking the Yeti's running 35 miles an hour?
I
mean,
was
that's
saying
like
more
Usain
like
Bolt.
16 to 26 miles
How
per hour.
tall? How long are his legs?
That's still faster
See,
than
no,
a
the
person.
point. The
Yeah.
point is that like, well, that's not really true. I mean, like the fastest man alive is like 28.
No, Usain can sprint at like
28 miles an hour.
We
No.
can, we can sprint.
No,
really
no, it's fat. It's like a couple miles per hour up. I thought. Like Usain
28
Bolt's
miles
top
an
speed.
hour seems
Because I read this whole thing about how like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo can't exist because he runs
runs
as
as fast
fast
as
as Scooby, which means he can run at like 35 miles per hour, making him X amount of miles
Fastest.
above
Oh,
Usain Bolt.
okay.
What's Usain Bolt?
Usain Bolt can run 40 miles per hour.
Okay,
What?
yeah, that's what I said. I said like.
Oh, but it's
I thought it
'cause
was
it's
like
over
Wait,
fast
no, I'm
and
sorry.
Humans can perhaps run as fast as 40
Yeah.
miles per hour, but Usain Bolt has gone
28 miles per hour. Okay, sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I'm sad.
Okay, so anyways, like this guy went maybe 28 to 30 miles an hour, but he did it really fast, which is spooky to me. I think that's scary.
It was like the
He
Roadrunner.
did
He went,
28 miles per hour, really
and-
fast.
and-
inhuman to us because we've never met Usain Bolt.
We've never met a Yeti
I'm
either.
not done with my dream.
It was like 0 to 28. Like,
So yeah, it was like 0 to 28 in one step.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and so like he goes away and he's like, and I put the camera down because I'm like, well, that's a Yeti, and I sort of
Yetis
like
don't like being
I
photographed.
sort of like look around at all our snowmen, and I just all of a sudden realize what just happened and that I've been marked for death by a Yeti
Oh,
because
no.
we made eye contact.
It's like the
and then I
dog
go,
from Harry.
oh crap, a Yeti, and I wake up.
It's like the dog from Harry Potter.
Like,
the Yeti.
Like,
No,
you know what? When you were explaining
how I
how the
feel about
Yeti
the
ran
oil
away,
man.
you know what I was thinking of?
That's how I felt.
the
I
part-
felt like I had been marked again by him. It's scary.
Tell the oil man story once we're done with the marked for death conversation.
Yeah. When you were explaining how the Yeti like took off real fast, I thought of like it.
When he just
When he goes,
It was like yeah,
Yeah, and he's like
Dude,
flying towards the camera.
I think that's the like
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
that's like the scariest.
Yeah,
part of the
it's
movie.
spooky. Like it's
Yeah.
like you see something just start moving real quick at you, and you're like,
And then you just wake up and you're
Yeah,
Then
no,
you're
and then
like,
like
he
in Get
just
Out
slumps on-
and Get
he
Out
slumps on
when
the steps
he's
and his eyes
running
roll
at
up in
him.
his head.
yeah. So like when
yeah.
I in the dream, I didn't really yell, "Oh crap, a Yeti." I said it in my mind as I was waking up, so I thought I actually said it out loud, but I don't know that I did.
That would have
I
been
hate
great
that,
if you
like-
just said it out loud in your
I think
bedroom.
I might have,
And
but I
your
don't.
parents just run in.
I
They're
was-
like, "Where?"
I was sleeping. No, I had that dream literally like right there.
I just imagine
Todd runs in. He's where?
I just imagine Quentin running in with like a giant butterfly net. He's like, let's get him.
It's like it's
He
always,
wants to take him apart for science.
it's like it's always sunny when the doctor has the giant net. And he's like, yeah, I used to try to catch us in a giant fishing net. And he's like, hey, where's Froggy? And he's like, don't you understand,
Froggy.
Frank? You are Froggy. And he's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And he goes, no, come here. And he pulls out a fishing net out of nowhere, just
I
like
was
puts
thinking
it
when
over his
Charlie's
head.
trying
You ever
to
see
catch
a
the
frog
leprechaun.
kid? Oh
Like
my
Quentin
God.
just comes with a
Yeah.
giant glue
You ever
trap.
see a
Yeah.
you ever see a frog kid?
Yeah, science was real crude back then.
Okay, so about the oil man.
All right,
Explain.
so the oil
Oilman.
man.
The oilman?
About
Are you talking about an oilman?
oil man.
Oilman?
Oil.
That's what it was.
I don't even know what he means by oil man.
Okay,
If he said
he's
oil
saying-
man, I
he's
would know
saying
what he
oilman.
means.
Oil man. Okay, the oil man is a man of oil that I saw.
Is he made of oil?
No, he's covered
like-
in oil.
He's
He's extremely
covered-
flammable.
Okay, if he's
All right,
covered in
all right.
oil-
Just to
and
clear
he's
up,
an oilman.
considering all the stories have started like this, let's just clarify what the oil man is first and what he is
He's
and
a
how
theory.
He's my dad.
Okay,
came to be.
the oil man is a man.
He's a theory at best.
He's a man. Imagine a bald man. Imagine like a more agile Mr. Clean.
Wait,
Okay.
is this gonna be
Okay.
like Charlie No Face?
I don't know what that is, but I'm just gonna keep going into this.
And then all of a sudden,
I don't think so.
Charlie, no
Okay,
face.
so the oil man is a man. He's agile. He's bald. All right. He's
He's got no feet.
no. He's got feet. He's got like long feet. But
He's got long
okay,
feet.
he's got like long
got a nose.
limbs
Okay.
too. Not like freakishly long, but
Yeah.
long enough to make you like be like, hey, those are long limbs. And but you know that's not your first thing. because he's covered in oil. And basically, I saw him a few months ago at Justin's, and we were all sitting around a fire. And I looked over, and your neighbors have like a telephone pole.
Oh yeah, no.
With a light. I was real shook. You remember? I was real shook.
Okay.
You found him.
Okay. So your neighbors have a light over there.
Yeah.
All right. And I think I don't even remember if it like was a garbage bag or a dog in the end.
It was a dog. It was
It
wasn't even a dog, because
I don't even know.
they don't have a.
Regardless,
It was.
I think we chalked it up to dog
There's an
in
oil
Yeah.
the end. But so I look over and like we're all just like sitting around or whatever, and like I was just like sitting like laid back, and I look over and under this light is what appears to be a man like crouched down in like a running position, like ready to sprint at me,
Yeah.
covered in black oil.
When you look up Oil Man,
Okay,
you
go.
get a bunch of pictures of a character from
No.
Mega Man.
No. One word.
Oh.
Oilman.
Oil man.
He's the oilman.
I thought that would work. Okay, go.
Mega Man.
You're right, Jack. That
Oil.
is terrifying.
Okay, 2 words. Oil man scary. Do that. Because I found one and I was like, yep, that's pretty much it. Okay, oil man.
Spooky boy.
Okay, maybe not that.
Yeah,
Who would win?
maybe a little less
All of
meanie.
Egypt or one spooky boy?
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Oh!
Don't touch
that
that.
boy there. All right.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Are you
so this
sure
is
you don't
essentially.
mean this man?
I don't mean. Okay.
Oh,
click on him.
Ainsley Harriet?
No, not
love
on him. Okay, go to Oily Man or whatever it is. I don't want Ainsley. Go to
We all want Ainsley.
That's terrifying.
If you
Joe.
want Ainsley, text
Joe.
A to this number now.
Also our
Stop.
sponsor.
Okay, go back.
If you want Oil Man, text ew to this number now.
Oh my goodness. All right, back to the oil.
You have
Back up.
selected Oil Man.
Let's get back to the story of the
Okay,
oilman.
back to the story. All right, I had momentum. You all ruined it.
Well, you can
So he
keep
was
talking.
crouched down looking at you.
Stretch. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, go to Oily Man. Okay, go to oil scare. Whatever,
It's
wherever I
a
can get the.
folklore.
Okay, we'll read that
Jack,
after.
Are you a young unmarried girl?
I mean, no.
In a way.
Okay, go back to.
No,
Joe.
don't tell me what to do.
Joe,
Don't
get
tell me how
back
to use
on
my computer.
topic. Joe, just go
That-
to the
that-
go to the thing.
Yep,
It's right there.
the picture should be right there. I don't know
Joe,
what's wrong.
just back to the.
Sorry,
go
we're
to
all
the-
just looking at this TV.
Okay,
Yeah, you probably can't see
so
what's happening.
imagine something like that. All right.
Just crouched.
So,
to
anyways, yeah,
We're
just
probably gonna
okay.
have to include a
He's
picture,
at the
Yeah, that's
light.
fine.
preferably of this man.
Okay, he's under the light. He's crouched and he's like staring at me. And he's like looking like into my eyes, and he's crouched down like, you know, I'm gonna come sprint at you in a couple of seconds here. So I'm like on red alert. I'm like frozen, like not moving, just staring at him for like what seemed like 30 seconds. And it's super weird because it wasn't one of those things where it was like still and then you moved a little bit and you saw what it was. Like it was sort of like that, but it wasn't. Like I thought I could see him like breathing and like his chest like pumping, like he was already somehow out of breath.
What?
And then
What flash?
like I adjusted and it was a dog, it was a bag of trash, it was something, but like it was relief and I just ignored it and whatever. And I forgot about it forever. All right? And then the other night, like 2 weeks ago, the first
You didn't
incident.
You didn't tell me it happened again.
Oh, it did.
Wait, you've seen him
The
twice?
oilman?
Yes.
I mean, that's basically 60% of a confirmation.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so anyways,
72% of a
oh,
hard yes.
I was here. Me
Where are you
and
getting these numbers?
hey,
Wait, the oilman's
You.
here?
no, it wasn't here. Okay, listen.
Everyone let
I
Jack
w-
finish.
He checked the window.
Joe has checked the window.
There is no oil, man.
There's no oil,
Oh.
man. Not
Okay,
right now.
I was
Thank
here, and
Wait, but I thought you said this is a real story.
Yeah.
he's a real story. I
And
live
why
my
is
life
there
in
no
fear.
oil man?
Okay, listen.
He has things to do.
Me and Elsa came over here, and we intruded upon Lou, as Lou knows. And we just stayed for a while. We
I was
watched some guys touch each other on wrestling, and then we went back to my home because she was going to drop me off. We pull in. I have a pretty long driveway. So like we pull in, and she's like slow, obviously, because that's her first time ever driving in my driveway. So she pulls in kind of slow, and I like look up ahead, and just like probably 50 yards ahead, I just see like a black, like shiny streak, like just go across my field of vision. Like it's kind of like I want to sound like Joe with the Yeti thing, but imagine no acceleration, just right across.
That's
but
hard
like
to
at
imagine.
a slow enough speed to like catch it and be like, what
half a
the heck?
moped.
Yeah, like half of a moped. Yeah, and then so that shiny streak goes across, and I'm like instantly I hadn't remembered the oil man yet, so I was like, oh my god. Also, a dog just went by, and then like she's like, what? Because Elsa got like super scared right away, and I was like, a big black dog like just went like across the driveway, and she got real scared, and like I kind of like disregarded her fear for a minute and told her the whole story of the oil man across the span of like 30 seconds going into my driveway.
Okay,
and then I was like, and then that was it. He didn't run at me. I don't even know what it was.
Okay.
And then I'm like, all right, good night. So like,
Okay, I have a story next.
wait,
but-
it's not over.
Okay,
It's
I'm
not
sorry, I'm
over.
sorry.
So, anyways, I get like whatever. I tell her about the story. She gets all scared. And I'm like, it's gonna be fine. You only have to drive like 30 minutes to go home in the dark. You're gonna be fine. So then I go in, and I'm like, you know what? It's probably not an oil man. It's someone's dog.
It's
if my
probably
dog.
not a naked man running
You
around.
just-
covered
Yeah.
in oil.
So I'm
It's
like,
just
it's
something you
in
made
the
up
wind.
no.
Yeah.
Listen. I know there
oil
was
keeps
something
warm,
though.
Joe.
Actually,
and-
it does.
Okay, listen.
No.
I knew it was something, so I was like, okay, if it were my dog out on someone else's property and they thought they saw a big burlap sack go by, I would want them to go look and make sure it wasn't my dog. So it was like almost like a karma thing. Like I needed to go and see if someone's like pet was out there. So I walk back out and I like go just into like the middle of my driveway, like where I saw it, and I just stand for a bit, like probably only like 2 minutes, but I stand out there and just like overwhelming fear like strikes. So I start like walking back. You know that thing? Has anyone like had that like type of basement as a kid, and you're going up the steps and you speed
yeah.
up the steps
Yeah.
out of fear for life? So it's like that. Like I start off slow and then I just like run to the house and I close the door, and like I go in and Rudy, my cat, is on like high alert, like something's outside.
Wow.
So and when he does that, he runs from window to window, just looking outside and like screeching. So like he's on like high alert, and like I'm like freaking out, like I'm starving anyway, so I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna cook some food and it'll be fine. So I'm like microwaving something, I'm just watching Rudy, I'm like, Rudy, calm down. And he's on my kitchen table looking out the window.
Oh, I hate having
And
windows
he
in
just-
my kitchen when you're scared.
Yeah, and he
Oh.
Me too.
and like out of all like
worst
his
thing.
little chaos, he just freezes and he's staring out the window, not making a noise, like completely still. I'm like, Rudy, and like he's just not moving because he knows he's not allowed on the table. And I'm like, Rudy, and I'm like, Rudy, get off the table, and he just doesn't move. And like I couldn't bring myself to look out the window, so I just like grabbed my food and like went into my room, and that was pretty much the end of it. But it was so terrifying because
Dude,
like
windows
he
in your
knew
kitchen
something
though.
was out
Like,
there.
when you're scared, because
Jack.
you can't see anything outside.
Yeah,
like your
Yeah.
lights are all on and stuff.
We were
Yeah.
telling that story, me and Joe over here on the side, who made a theme song for the oil man.
Oh, let's hear it.
He's bold. He's black. He's ready to attack. Oil man. Here comes the oil
Okay,
man.
he's not black. He is white.
Okay.
He's a white Caucasian man.
but he's covered in oil, so he's black.
Yes, but he's a white Caucasian man.
That was like Chris Pratt.
That was like Creed.
Wait, how do you know he's white if he's covered in oil and black?
Because why would
facial features.
facial features?
Racist.
That's
You didn't
racist,
see his
dude.
face.
Dude, it's not racist.
He said
That's
he had
just
large chapped lips.
Okay, he had like long. Okay,
I think
listen.
we all know what you mean by that, Jack.
No,
You're
I
racist.
don't. He just was white. You could just tell. Go back to my oil man picture.
How could you tell? Did he not have a big nose?
In the song, I was
Was
referring
that
to the
it?
oil covering his body.
Are you
not
going to my
his
picture?
Skin color.
I don't want to look at the oilman now.
I know. Neither. Okay, not that picture. You know my picture.
He's clearly a black man.
Go back to my picture.
Chop me.
I'm sorry. I actually.
Bill, let me even it out.
Jesus fuck.
I don't want to see the oilman.
Can you go? Oh my gosh.
Joe.
Joe,
my picture. This isn't that difficult.
he's having a good old time.
He's not even he's not. He has no intentions of going back.
I know.
No, he has to open.
So that's the end of the
his
story.
browser.
I'm terrified.
a very long time to load. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ, Joe.
Oh,
These are
yeah.
Yeah.
That is a white
I don't
man.
like that.
No,
I don't know,
that
man.
could be Satan. He's a red man.
That could be Satan. He's a red Well, we're gonna have to put it on the video anyways. It's not gonna. You can't really see it behind me.
Okay. My story.
Yeah,
First
go
of
ahead
all,
real quick. We'll end with Justin's story.
About Jack's story, I just want to clarify something.
Did I mess something up?
No. You didn't mess anything up. I just wanted to say, like, at the end of the night, we were like, it was just a dog. But I'm pretty sure, whatever it wasn't living. I think it was just the trash bag.
I don't know, man.
I know you were shook because you...
Well, I'm just saying, say there is a real oil man.
Yes.
Which I'm about 90%.
Oh, I don't like
convinced.
that.
Ew.
He, like, I would imagine, yeah, he'd be there and then he'd change into something else, so a trash bag would make sense.
Okay, well, we'll go back to that because that's
Okay,
that's an interesting theory. But I want to tell the story of Dr. Doolittle.
Wait, real quick. Me and Joe have
Okay.
rewritten the theme song to Please Jack.
Please, Jack?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
He's bald. He's white. He's ready for a fight. Oil man. Here comes the oil man.
I got the rest of it. Ready? Oil man.
The only salvageable part of that was Mike's, so...
Okay.
We changed for you.
All right, let me tell the
We
story of
spent
Dr.
hours
Doolittle.
writing that song, and we had to change it for you.
I should write a novel about him in hopes that it'll get his attention and he can kill me.
Wait, what?
Alright, so wherever we stop. So, we were in this abandoned place. This is the other supernatural thing that happened to me, but just wasn't enough, really. Is I went to, like, spit my gum out on a pentagram, because I saw this pentagram on the floor. I needed to spit my gum out. I was like, there's no trash can in this place. That's the equivalent of a trash can. I'll spit on it. And, like, it's probably, like, 5, like, feet in, like, diameter, because, you know, it's a big old circle. So I go to spit on it, and there's literally one tiny piece of broken glass on the floor, and the gum lands on that. And doesn't hit the pentagram at all. It's like the one thing it could have hit, and it just sticks to it. And it, like, it really scared me, because I was just like, oh, wow.
It would have summoned some sort of glass gum demon.
Oh, yeah, I told you about that,
Okay.
yeah.
I want to tell the
He would
story
have just started
of-
talking and it, like just his teeth break.
I want to tell the
Glass
story
gum.
of Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah.
Now, this is 100% real. And, Mike, I think you were the only one who wasn't there.
Yeah.
Wait, Mike, you weren't there?
We
Wasn't
made
there.
it pretty much just for Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, well, because Mike's pretty gullible. About
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
You know who else is pretty gullible is Tom.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
have to talk about
Oh,
Toby
yeah.
sometime. But go ahead.
Yeah. I still have you in my phone as Toby.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Play-Doh to you?
Excellent. Okay, but Dr. Doolittle. So it was after my graduation party. A bunch of people came back to my house, and a lot of the people left, and I think it was just like
It was me, you, Austin, Lucas, Joe.
Nick was there. Yes.
Then someone else wasn't. Austin wasn't there.
Austin was.
Austin
there.
wasn't there.
gonna
It was
say.
Nick. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we decide like I forget what even started. that.
Okay. What started it was
said
we're all on the porch and we're pretty much having the conversation I just almost sort of brought up was like we want something supernatural to happen to
Yeah.
us, and since all 5 of us are here and
Oh.
we're all pretty like creative people, we should try to come up with a story about something scary that happened, and we're all gonna stick to it. We're gonna rough out the details. We're gonna get everything solidified into one story. Like, we need to know everything. We need to like all like be describing the same things but different point of views, and we were gonna like solidify those viewpoints. Like, who thought it was a hoax, who thought it was just wind making noise, and like we were gonna like plan it all out.
To trick me,
Yeah,
but
to
I
trick
think
you.
To, like, trick- yeah, to trick
the
you.
funniest thing about this is though, None of you ever said anything to me about
I
it
did.
except
I
for you.
told you the
Well,
story.
it's
You
because our
just-
plans were wrecked.
Yeah, you
Our
just
plans
told
were
me.
wrecked because of Dr. Doolittle.
Oh, yeah, that's
okay.
right.
So what started it
Okay,
really
well,
is
what our original plan was a character we were thinking up called Mr. Windbreaker.
Mr. Windbreaker,
Yeah.
yes. Mr. Windbreaker is fictional. Dr. Doolittle is not.
Yes.
But my real question is, he never broke wind.
He wore
Okay,
a windbreaker.
listen.
You're
here.
right.
That's why we call him.
Okay, Joe, that's not even part of the story. Continue, Jack.
Grow up, Joe.
All right, so Mr. Windbreaker, essentially, we had it all planned out. Mr. Windbreaker, we see him across the street at a pole. Like, the light on the telephone pole goes out. The light was a whole thing. Like,
Well,
it would
yeah,
keep
Well, the
going
light
out.
on the
And he'd
telephone
keep
pole
getting
actually
closer.
does go off.
It goes on and
Yeah.
off. It's
Yeah,
like,
so that's real.
there's
so
like a
we could,
light
like,
sensor
attach
on
to
it.
that.
So, like, if a car drives by, or sometimes it's just like a freak
Random.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if a car drives by or something and their headlights shine on it, the street lamp will like shut off. And then sometimes it's just like a random happening and it'll just
Yeah.
shut on and turn back on. So we had like this whole thing about like seeing Mr. Windbreaker across the street and the light would go out and
Yeah.
we couldn't see anything.
And
then
the,
he
and
just,
the
like,
whole
kept-
thing is we were going to hear his windbreaker going like...
Yeah. And then like he just kept getting closer and closer to us.
Yeah, and
But we-
then like in the end he was gonna be like across the road smoking a cigarette, and we were gonna like call out for him. He wasn't gonna answer. The light was gonna go off, and we were all gonna like scurry in, and
Yeah.
that was gonna be the story.
yeah.
And like I
Well,
forget what else, but like
we
a bunch
were-
of freak
okay.
stuff was gonna happen in between to make it scary.
Yeah, so we were sitting out there talking about this story, and honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I was honestly pretty like spooked.
Yeah, no,
Just
we were
'cause, like-
all waiting for something to
Our
actually
spook-
happen.
Our fake
Yeah.
spooky stories were real spooking us.
So
Yeah.
it was probably like 3 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah, about.
and
Yeah,
we were all
no,
sitting out there, and
yeah.
it was dead silent. Like it's just this real small town, so like I mean at 3 o'clock in the morning, everyone's in bed, but. We were all sitting there just talking about this story, and it was silent for a second. All of a sudden, we see this guy from across the street.
Yeah,
I mean,
and,
there's my house kind of sits on like a corner, so there was like
Yeah.
this right across the road. There was this guy riding a bike, comes up the street.
Yeah, but
And
also
he just-
it's worth mentioning, like, at the time, we were in full conversation, and as, like, soon as we, like, heard the bike or saw him out of our peripherals, whatever set us to see him, we all went, like, dead silent, and
Dead
we're all just,
silent.
like, ready to watch what
yeah,
was
'cause
gonna
we were
happen.
ready for
I saw
some
him like
shit to
coming down
happen.
the street. No one else did. And
Yeah.
then he like came to the intersection, and that's when shit got weird.
Yeah, and it was like we were like, what the. Like
Like, there's a
something's
guy on a bike, it's 3 a.m. That's already weird enough
Yeah.
for us to be, like, silent and be like,
Well,
what
and the
heck?
funny
Like,
thing was, this was what I noticed. It was summertime,
Yeah.
and this guy was wearing like black slacks and a button-down shirt tucked
Yeah.
in, riding a bike at 3 a.m.
That's why we assumed he was a
Like-
doctor.
What the fuck is he
So
doing?
doctor.
So he comes up to the intersection, does 2 loops in the intersection,
Yeah, like-
and then
Like
just
real,
keeps.
real slow though. Like
really
yeah.
wide, so, like, really, like, he didn't just get there and, like, do him. He, like, really, like, came to the corners of the
Yeah, made
intersection.
sure he
It
was
was
like
real
he almost
slow.
went over every curve.
He was
Yeah.
like, these loops are gonna be fucking good. I'm gonna make mom proud. And then, so he goes off. That scared the shit
Yeah,
out of me.
no.
Yeah.
He goes off in the other direction, and we're just silent for probably like
The
a
entire
solid
time it's happening, and then like another minute after he leaves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
another
and then-
minute, we're all just
And
like,
then Joe's just standing on the sidewalk, like looking into the intersection, and he's like, after like a minute of dead silence, all just us sitting around trying to figure out what the
Yeah.
fuck just happened. Joe just says, "So are we not going to talk about Dr. Doolittle over here?" And we all started laughing, but we were so scared.
It was like shook laughter.
Yeah,
yeah, so like
it was like nervous laughter, like
after we all sort of like got into our weird funk again,
Yeah.
I walked down into the intersection and like I looked down the street and he was just like sort of weaving back and forth, like
Oh,
really,
was he?
Yeah,
'Cause I
like,
thought we didn't see him again. Like,
I
after-
watched him disappear.
Oh,
and, like I
okay.
was like, oh, and he's
Yeah, 'cause you
we
went
were all
around
still
the
on
corner
porch.
to see
Yeah,
him.
Yeah, I was
we
the only one
never
that
got
walked
off
out
the
to the
porch
corner.
until we just walked around on the streets.
yeah, we did.
Nice.
Okay,
I
there's
think that
so
was
many
before,
things wrong
maybe.
with that.
And then, later in the night, after we had calmed down from Dr. Dooloop,
Yeah.
we were all just looking down, and we see this man just run
Bag
across
man.
the street with a full bag
yeah.
of mystery things, like
Fucking-
right into the funeral home.
Yeah, right into the funeral. I'm not even kidding you.
This was like 4.
But
This
this was
is like-
well, the thing that made us think like we thought he had a cat in the bag, and we thought that because like
we
we
saw
looked
a
over and
cat
we're
run
like, what's
across
that?
the
And
street
we're
at
like,
some
oh,
point.
it's a cat running across the street.
And then, like,
He
five-
runs
later
across the street.
he
5 minutes
runs.
later,
yeah, he
maybe?
ran with like a pretty empty bag, and then came back with a full bag. And we
went
never
into
saw
the
the
funeral
cat
home.
again.
He went. I swear to God, he went into the funeral home because it's like 5 houses down from my house. The
Yeah,
funeral home.
and
is.
it was
So
lined up,
he runs
right?
across the street from like kind of where the funeral home is, runs across the street, and he's gone for a couple minutes, and then comes back and runs into the funeral home. I swear to God.
Yeah.
So Bagman and Dr. Dooloop, real people. Mr. Windbreaker.
It's just Dr. Dooloop we know a
Fictional.
lot more about. We know he likes to ride bikes. He wears slacks. He
at
does
3
loops.
o'clock in the
And
morning.
3 o'clock in
And
the
he
morning.
probably went to medical school.
And he
Yeah,
probably
probably.
went to metal school.
All right, quick little story here to end it on a bright note.
Okay,
That was
yeah.
pretty great.
All right, so we have this friend named Tom.